I'm now into my fourth month since my last suicide attempt. I was hospitalized in the ICU for 3 weeks with liver failure, kidney failure, and paralysis of my right side. Another 4 weeks passed until I could walk with the aid of a quad-based cane. Yet another 4 weeks passed until I could walk with a very exaggerated gait without the aid of said cane. All this time, I could not use my arm, for I had suffered from severe nerve damage in upper arm/shoulder due to the way I passed out on my floor with my arm in a raised position. I can type with my right hand and wave hello, but am restricted to all things that don't require the raising of my arm. I've lost everything I had prior to all of this horror. I don't even know how to pinpoint what prompted all this to happen. I went from being miserable and alive to being miserable, still alive, partially handicapped, massively in debt from the soon-to-be-arriving medical bills, isolated from all of my friends due to having to relocate to my mother's house 3,000 miles away to an area I've never been to and know no one, and embarrassed by the fact that I can't cope with this world. I took an overdose of pills in conjunction with some alcohol. I even talked on the telephone to my girlfriend just after I consumed all of the crap, but I remember nothing from the conversation. Weeks later, I found out about the conversation. Anyways, the next thing I remember was waking up a few days later with a tube forced down my throat, preventing me from even communicating. Weeks later, I was told that I was discovered about 8 hours later passed out on the floor by one of my roommates. I had no pulse and brown goop was in and around my mouth. I guess the 8 hours was enough time for all the pills to damage my internal organs. The 8 hours on the basement floor was enough to have blood restricted to my arm and leg. Weeks later, I was told of how they were weighing the option of amputating my right leg, due to, I guess, what was compartment syndrome. Luckily, they performed 4 fasciotomies on my leg to relieve the massive swelling. I am now left with 2 rather huge scars on my calf, a small scar on my thigh, and a large one on my hip/ass. This one is by far the goriest. I have a rather large chunk of flesh missing there. The thought of ever being naked with someone again is very intimidating. How will this person react to the ugliness of my self-inflicted pain and its resulting wounds and scars? I feel as though I am some type of damaged goods. I fear I will be alone due to the danger signs that will go off in every woman's head since they find out I've tried to kill myself twice. I am afraid I will never be able to do a push-up or play basketball or have inventive, athletic sex or walk 20 blocks without it taking 5 times as long as it would have normally. All I can do is hope. I was always afraid to believe in hope. Now it's the only way I will survive. With this thing called hope and the distinct possibility of being on medication for the rest of my life, I try to forge on.